Yeah, look, for me it was a no-brainer. I think after I left the first time, I always knew that I had to come back and play for the club that I grew up supporting, and play for a club that means so much to me, and do it in front of family and friends, and do it in front of people that I know really well. And I was obviously one of them a long time ago, so it's just something that means a lot to me. It felt like the right time, and at this stage of my career, I'd love to be playing my best football for Perth Glory. Yeah, massive. I think leaving Perth, that was one of the biggest reasons behind it. I needed to go and see how far I could go, outside of Australia, and the first step was leaving my comfort zone and really challenging myself, and that's what ended up happening over the 4 years overseas. And it's helped me learn a lot about myself as a person, as a player. It's helped me develop a lot, and I've come home with a lot of memories, and a lot of lessons. And I look back at that time with absolute gratitude. But I think it just feels like the right time to go and put on the park for Perth Glory, what I've learned over those years, and the person and player that I've been able to develop into. Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think with whatever profession you're in, you always want to learn, you always want to develop, and I think over those years, there's not been a year where I haven't felt like I've learned and I've developed. So I'd hope to continue that here for the club, and do it with people and in front of people that I really care about, and that's really important to me. So I'll be putting my best foot forward and doing my best to continually learn and grow here in my home. Earliest Glory memories is going to the games with my dad, when they used to have the wooden seats still, and that was nuts back then. And it's probably a lot of my biggest memories from my childhood come from going to the games and watching it, and going to all the signings for all the players, and dyeing my hair orange because I liked Gavin Wilkinson. My childhood team, we were called a Young Glory, so there's so many different memories of the club in that way. And then when it all started, obviously when I first got into the youth team, I think I was 15 or 16 under Gareth Naven, and I think from there it really became evident that it's possible to play for the club that I love, and play for the club that I've spent my whole childhood supporting and watching. So I've got a lot of memories through my whole life, but that'd be the earliest.
Show you the way that it goes. God is good, but his life is.
I have to say Keo. He's an interesting one, and someone I've always been pretty close with. Dino Djulbic was someone I was close with, who was one of the older boys, who used to bully everyone when I was a young boy. Ruben was obviously there, and who I had him at Newcastle when I came back. There's so many of these older boys who are still around the place that I think it's important for the club as well that you keep these relationships and you keep these people involved, because they've obviously been involved in it as a player, and look at it with the best outlook for the club, and want the best for the club. So I could name a load, but they're just a few who come to mind. Oh, it was unbelievable. I used to love playing at NIB, and it's for me it's the best place to play in Australia. It's the best stadium. It's such a good atmosphere, and especially when the Shed get behind you like they always do, and they've got a few songs for the players. So it was an absolute joy to play in front of them, and I think knowing what they feel, as I was up there as a kid and growing up and things like that, it's especially when I was here, I always felt like there was a good relationship between us, because we both felt the same things, we both wanted the same things, and we won together, and went through hard times together, and that's what true fans and supporters are about. So I think for me it's first and foremost I'm a fan before a player.
Like I'm in my Nikes, don't make excuses, they never excite me.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic little venue, and it was brilliant to see the boys win on the weekend. I thought that was really important to hit the ground running here at Macedonia Park. So you know, we need to make it a fortress, and you know, especially in that second half when we're up and doing well, it seemed to you know, to really get going, and I think that's important for all of us, for the members, fans, players, staff, you know, to make sure that we make it as homely as possible, and to make sure that we really make it our own as quickly as possible. And so that was a fantastic start on the weekend. Yeah, I mean that's a goal, to be fit and firing and ready to go then. So it'll be a lot of hard work over the next few weeks. You know, but the positive is that we do have some time to you know, to get all the rustiness out and to get the body moving again, and to make sure I'm as fit as possible to hit the ground running and help the boys in the club as much as I can from that first game available. Yeah, no, really familiar faces. A few of my best mates in there. You know, Mitch Oxborough, Ryan Williams, Jack Clisby. Are all people who, you know, I have a great relationship with and grew up playing all my childhood football with. So I think that always adds that little bit of extra specialness to coming back to a club that you love, because you're doing it with people who, you know, grew up playing football with you, and even at 29 you still feel like a little kid when you're around those people. So it's great to be around those, and even people like Lambo and Shaz. There's just so many people around the club that have been there for so long, and you know, been there from the start when I first started. So you know, it means a lot to be around people that know you well, and you know, have watched you you know, throughout your whole career. Yeah, look, to be honest, I've never ever said what my targets are, but you know, I hold a high standard, and I think, you know, the fans and members know that when they've watched me play, that I care about my football a lot and I care about doing well a lot. So I'll be doing my best and making sure that I do everything I can to make sure I'm hitting those targets internally.